Hello and welcome to turn 4, it's turn 13, August the 14th to the 17th, 1942 of Stalingrad 42 from GMT and Mark Simonich. Right, before I start, just an adjustment because I made a mistake, which was pointed out again by my mate Chris, eagle-eyed as usual, and that was to do with the battle up here in Kropotkin. I had actually surrounded with ZOT bombs that city, so the unit there was not able to withdraw. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that unit off and slightly adjust the move. So this was the unit here, this remnant. So that'll be removed. I know it could have done a desperate defence, but it was my incompetence that meant that it wasn't able to. And in response, I'm just going to move this unit, which originally started up here, to, if you like, plug the gap. In fact, I think I might actually put him there. So, yeah, that's that's the adjustment. So now we can get on with the turn, and we start, of course, with the German initial phase. Right, at the start of our initial phase, of course, we ready our air unit, our Luftwaffe unit here, so that's going to be available for the turn. And next we have place reinforcements. Now, it's a mixed bag here for the Germans because we have we have one incoming unit, which is an infantry division, not a particularly brilliant one in comparison to the ones that's already there. We also have a railhead marker. So this is the rail conversion, which will extend the supply lines, hopefully get supply down to the artillery support units. This actually works on these green lines here, this line here and this line there. There is a second unit which you can use, but at the start, of course, you're going to just have the one. The next bit of good news is that we get an upgrade. So our SS Viking division here actually gets upgraded to its full strength. So that gets replaced. That's a replaced unit. Now, if that loses a step, that other one comes in because that's got no back on it. So it's effectively adding a step, if you like, to that that unit. And now the bad news is we need to withdraw the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division. You need to hunt exactly where that is. I suspect it's over here somewhere. Oops. And it actually is. It's this guy over here. So it's the one with the tank shift. And it's elite, so yeah, it would. That's going to hurt, but that's got to go. Presumably being used elsewhere in the south, in southern Russia. So we've lost that unit. Shouldn't be too much of a problem with the hole here because I don't think the Russians are going anywhere. But still, a shame. So that's our reinforcements. We have replacements as well, and our replacements for the turn is an Axis unit. So this would be not a German unit. And I think what we can do is we should be able to replace the step back on this Slovak unit. And so we'll place that there. And we'll have a replacement marker on, so it cannot combat this turn, and it can only move one hex maximum, but we get the step back, which is great. And our resource point, of course, we will create another supply unit. I must have used the other supply unit from last turn, so that supply unit is available as well, along with that division as a reinforcement. And that's our initial phase. So now we will go on to the movement phase, and this is going to be very interesting because we've got a lot of Russians here defending, and with the loss of that Panzer Grenadier division, actually, we're a little bit light here, so we'll probably need to do some shifting. However, we've got a really nice setup here. We have pushed all the way to Mykop here, and it's about reinforcing failure or success really here. And what we do about Krasnodar is interesting, and of course this flank as well, which is very open. Right, so yeah, let's get on with the movement. Right, on with the combat phase now. We have 3 attacks on the screen here, and another one, which I will slightly adjust, is there at Armavir. So I think we're quite happy to do these just left to right, really. They're not really going to affect each other. So let's get the numbers and the shifts down on the board and see where we are with these attacks. Right, first up on the left here, just this fortification with the cavalry unit in here. So we have 10 to 2, it's 9 on this side, and then the Romanian unit on the other side of the river attacking, which is halved. So 10 to 2 is 5 to 1, but there is of course a shift for the fortification, and also the fortification stops the tank shift. So we're actually 5 to 1 going down to 4 to 1. Let's see how this turns out. A 3 on 4 to 1, sorry. Oh, it's a DRX. So let's clear away the debris here. So DRX is not a loss. Oh, there's a loss for each side, of course. So we do lose our cavalry unit here, but also there's a loss on this side, and it is the choice of the Soviets. So of course they're probably going to pick on the 3rd Panzer unit here and put in a remnant instead. Yeah, so let me get a remnant sorted for that. Okay, so here we are. That's the remnant. As you'll note, the elite tank shift has gone as well. So yeah, that's done some serious damage to this wing of the German push here. So so it's a DR4, sorry, DRX Advanced 2. So Certainly we can advance into that hex and remove the fortification with something. I think probably just the tank unit itself. We've got an advance 2. Not really sure I really want to push anything this way. We're in marsh there, so halved on attack. I think possibly, actually I think what I'll do is I'll put the Stug unit there, and this one, advance 2, will go here. Sorry, just off the camera there, just onto the next bridge there. So yeah, not a great result for the Germans again. Oh well. Moving on, Krasnodar here, 25 against 14. So that's actually a 1-to-1. However, we will be using, I think we will use the 17th. Actually, no, we will use the 3rd Romanian Army support unit there to give us a shift as well. What we'll also do, I haven't marked it in, but we will use the air shift as well, so that becomes 2 shifts. So 1-to-1 with 2 shifts makes it up to 3-to-1. Let's see how we go. Oh, 1, oh dear. 3-to-1 and 1 is just an exchange. So an exchange is a choice of the opposition, which unit is lost, and I think certainly the Germans will insist on that elite remains of a rifle division is the loss. Over here we're all infantry here. There's that Jaeger, possibly. We could insist on this Stug battalion, and I think we probably will. So there, that's pretty much what happens with an exchange. Nothing else. There's no retreat or anything like that. That's all for Krasnodar. So Krasnodar holds, and some tanks are lost in that. We've used our aircraft there as well. Right, down in Mykop. So I mean, as you can see, actually this turn is a lot of city fighting. So here we've got 17-3. This is a rifle division, halved on being disrupted, but doubled for the city. So it's a straight 17-3. There are no shifts because the tanks don't have shifts into cities. Of course, that's 5-to-1. So let's just roll that. Another 1. Oh dear. 5-to-1. That's a DR2 advance 2. So it's a retreat, and this is put into full retreat. And we can retreat. There's not a problem with that. So 1, and I think probably 2. We could. There is a possibility of doing a determined defence, but I don't think it's really worth it. Let's see. It is on the city side. However, we haven't got any particular positives. And yeah, we'll probably just end up eliminating. So we'll live to fight another day. So we'll do that. And the DR2 is an advance 2. Certainly we can advance into the hex here. We could theoretically have a go at that unit there, and form up our group in this hex. That's looking pretty good odds actually. Unfortunately, we're across the Minor River, which means that's doubled to 4. That would be 17-4, which is a 4-to-1. but there is a shift for the wooded rough as well. 3 to 1. Be a 3 to 1, and we have a tank unit. The 3 to 1s can do exchanges. But I think we should go for it. Yeah. So one into here, form the breakthrough group, and attack here at was it 17 to 4, which is 4 to 1, going down to a 3 to 1 because of the wooded rough. So a 3 to 1 on breakthrough combat. It's another 1. Oh god, it's another exchange. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Certainly we're going to have to get another remnant out for this panzer division, and this is not looking good at all. The motorised brigade does come off, of course, and there is a limited advance, which I don't think we have the points to do, actually. But anyway, let me get the remnant. Right, here we are with the remnant. We get the advance for free. So I think we're going to leave the tank unit in here. With this terrain we're going to get into here, tanks are pretty much useless anyway, so we will advance into that hex. So now this this full retreat unit must retreat another 2 hexes. So let's remove the marker. So we're going here and probably here to cover the road. So that's that attack. So we've got my cop, and yeah, we've got, well, not quite a breakthrough here, but seriously dealt the defenders a lot of casualties here. However, we have again effectively got an issue with the tanks here on the German side, certainly. So onto the last combat here. So this is in Armavir. So we have 27 to 6. 27 to 6 is 4 to 1, and we do not have any shifts at all. It's just a straight 4 to 1. So let's roll that. A whole string of 1s, would you believe it? A 4 to 1 on a 1 is a DR2. So as this is well, this can get away. Do I want it to get away? Well, we could try and cancel a retreat because it's in a city. Is only 1 step though. Is it worth getting the unit out of there? Again, we'd have to roll pretty good to get anything positive, and we're very, very likely to not cancel and to lose the step as well. So I think we will discretion the great part of that. I think we will retreat. And going through a Zoc here, although these 2 hexes here are not in a Zoc, so we will put the unit here with a disruptive marker, of course. And there is an advance only of 2. So if we tried to attack it again, we could move into here. However, we'd have the penalty of not going through, so that would a 2 that would leave us just there without the ability to attack it. So that's not very useful here. We could come down here, and again we'd move here for 1 for the penalty of not going through the vacated hex. So there we can't execute that either. So what I think we'll just do is I want to get this mountain unit kind of this direction I think, to go and help over by my cop. So I'm just going to move him across here. We'll get the infantry unit in to the city, and then I think we should threaten with these to build a stack to again outflank the units up here on the rough area, and threaten this Novinominsk area. Fine. I think that's all the combats. So that could have gone a hell of a lot better. With just the rolls of the ones are becoming a real problem for the Germans. Okay, so we're on to the recovery and then the supply phase. So on the recovery and supply phase for the Germans, we just need to remove the disruption from the support unit that moved. It's full of movement allowance here. Our bomber moves away, and also we can now remove just off the map there our Slovak motorised brigade, motorised division there. It's taken its reinforcement. Right, so that's recovery phase. Now supply phase. I think we're all fairly well linked. No problems there, and are we going to flip any units? Well, we can't flip this one, and that's the only supply unit on the board. So the answer to that is no either. So that's really it for the German turn, and next up will be the Soviet initial phase. Right, in our Soviet initial phase, no air units of course, we get to place our reinforcements. We have two reinforcements, one of the Caucasus divisions here, but also a Guards infantry corps, which has taken a loss, so it's flipped over. That is not a Trans-Caucasus unit, so that will be placed, of course, in the Caspian Sea transit box way over here. And the other one, I think I definitely need to focus on providing reinforcements. Interestingly enough, reinforcements now, should they go at the Terek area, or should we try and bolster this area here, which is looking now rather weak? Yeah, I think we probably should. So we'll place the other unit down here to be shipped up. Okay, so right, that's our resource points, of course. So we can put a fortification on, and I think our fortification, which was going to complete, is over here. That's correct. So that's now a fortification, and I think we should almost certainly start building one here as well. I think that's a line that we need to try and hold for the game. Fine. So our resource points done. So we're on to the movement phase. So there is no combat, of course, but there is recovery, and we can deal with that. So hopefully our defence here is going to be a little better next turn, and got a little bit of a reserve here with the tanks and the cavalry if necessary up here. Not sure, well, there's nothing I can do about Krasnodar, I'm afraid. Over here we put that unit into full retreat, so he now comes back as disrupted, and I think that's it for recovery. So on to the supply phase, and I think everybody here is in supply. We haven't got anybody cut off yet. No, we're all okay, and no attrition or anything like that. One thing I forgot to do on the German turn, which I'll do now on the German supply phase, I'm doing it on the Soviet one, is actually move the railhead. So remember I said we had this railhead come in today, so that moves 2 spots up, and that's going to become more and more prominent and useful in the game. At the moment it's just starting off. Okay, and that's really it for the Soviet turn. I think they're weathering the storm very well. The cascade of ones on the combat results table from the Germans hasn't helped their cause at all, and as I say, they're losing quite a lot of their combat power on their tanks. However, next turn they will have a tank replacement point, which I think they'll be very happy to receive. Right, well, that's it for turn 13, the 4th turn of the game, and I hope to see you for turn 5, which is turn 14, the August 18th to 21st. See you then.